In the heart of a bustling city, where ambition soared as high as the gleaming skyscrapers, lived a young man named Arjun. For years, Arjun had dreamed of becoming a successful graphic designer, someone whose work would be admired and recognized. He imagined his art gracing the covers of magazines, lighting up billboards, and inspiring others just as he had once been inspired. But these dreams, vivid as they were, remained imprisoned in his mind, shackled by the invisible chains of laziness. Each morning, Arjun would set his alarm early, determined to sketch out new ideas before the world stirred awake. But more often than not, he would silence the alarm, promising himself just 5 more minutes of rest. Those 5 minutes would stretch into half an hour, then an hour, until the day was already in full swing and his motivation had faded into the background noise of daily life. His sketchbook, once brimming with potential, began to gather dust on his desk. His best friend, Mira, noticed the change. Mira was everything Arjun admired: focused, determined, unwavering. She worked as a freelance writer, and though her journey was far from easy, she attacked each day with a sense of purpose. Whenever Arjun complained about his lack of progress, Mira would listen patiently, then gently nudge him to take action. "Dreams don't work unless you do, Arjun," she would say, her voice firm but kind. One rainy afternoon, as Arjun sat gazing out the window, watching droplets race down the glass, Mira called him. "I have an idea. Meet me at the cafe in an hour." Curiosity and a trace of guilt about his idle day propelled Arjun out the door. At the cafe, Mira slid a small notebook across the table. "This is for you," she said. "Write down every excuse you've made for not working on your art." Arjun hesitated, but her steady gaze urged him on. He scribbled, "I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. What if my work isn't good enough? I'll start tomorrow." The page filled quickly, the words forming a litany of self-doubt and procrastination. Mira studied the list. "Now I want you to write what would happen if you ignored every single one of these excuses for just 1 week. What could change?" Arjun paused, then wrote, "I'd finish my portfolio, I'd feel proud of myself. Maybe I'd even get noticed." She smiled. "You don't need to transform overnight. Just start with one small step. Prove to yourself that you can be the person you dream of becoming. Kill your laziness by acting, not just wishing." That night, Arjun returned home, the notebook clutched in his hand. He stared at his old sketchbook, feeling the familiar tug of inertia. But Mira's words echoed in his mind. He opened the sketchbook and began to draw, telling himself he would do just 15 minutes. The lines were shaky at first, but as the minutes slipped by, he found his rhythm. When he finally looked up, an hour had passed. The next morning, Arjun set his alarm early and, despite the temptation to stay in bed, he forced himself up. He remembered the promise he made. One small step, every day. Those 15 minutes of drawing became his daily ritual. Some days, the work came easily. Other days, every stroke felt like wading through mud. But he persisted. Weeks turned into months. Arjun's sketches grew bolder, more confident. He shared his work online, bracing for criticism, but was surprised by the encouragement he received. Other aspiring artists reached out, asking for advice, and Arjun realized that his journey was inspiring others, just as he had once hoped. One evening, Arjun received an email from a well-known design studio. They had seen his portfolio and wanted to discuss an opportunity. His heart pounded as he reread the message, hardly believing it was real. He called Mira, his voice trembling with excitement. "I did it," he whispered. "I finally did it." Mira laughed, her pride evident. "You proved to yourself what you're capable of. You killed your laziness, one day at a time." Arjun's story is not unique, but it is a testament to the power of persistence over inertia. Laziness is not an enemy to be vanquished in a single battle. It is a shadow that creeps in when we let self-doubt and fear dictate our actions. It whispers that tomorrow is a better time to start, that our best efforts aren't worth the risk of failure. But each day we choose to take action, however small, we weaken that shadow, replacing it with the light of self-belief. For Arjun, the journey was not about grand gestures or overnight success. It was about choosing every day to take one step closer to his dreams, to do the work even when inspiration was nowhere to be found. It was about recognizing that excuses, no matter how convincing, are just the mind's way of protecting us from discomfort. True growth happens when we push beyond that comfort, when we prove to ourselves that we are stronger than our laziest impulses. In the end, Arjun's greatest achievement was not landing the job or gaining recognition. It was learning that the power to change his life was always within him. By showing up, by doing the work, by refusing to let laziness win, he became the artist he had always dreamed of being. So, if you find yourself trapped by your own excuses, remember Arjun's journey. Pick up your metaphorical sketchbook. Start with 15 minutes or even 5. Write down your excuses, then imagine your life without them. Take the smallest step forward. Prove to yourself, day by day, that you are capable of more than your laziness allows. Each act of effort is a victory. Each day of persistence, a brick in the foundation of your future. The life you want is waiting on the other side of your excuses. All you have to do is begin.